What's up, y'all? We back. And yeah, I was pretty fucking right, if I'm being honest here.
We are really trying our hardest to remain humble at this point.
I could not have named my last video a better title, honestly. The most uncomfortable fight weekend of the year. Let's just play a bit of catch up here. We started on Friday with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. For those who haven't paid attention to the thumbnail of the video or the title of it, I am referring to this weekend's past couple of fights that went on between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and UFC 309, Jones versus Stipe Miocic. And what a weekend of elder abuse. I mean, like, really, man. Like, it's just like everything that we thought these fights were going to be, they were exactly that. This was the most predictably painful to watch, honestly depressing to watch fight nights I've ever participated in, honestly. We'll start off with Jake and Mike because they came first on Friday. I believe it came to no one's surprise this weekend how the fights ended up actually playing out. Jake Paul, very predictably, carried Mike Tyson across 8 rounds, didn't really trade with him at all, and just kind of pieced him up from the outside, and won a very comfortable decision. And now Jake Paul officially has a win over Mike Tyson on both of their professional boxing records. Quite actually one of the saddest and heartbreaking things to watch ever in my life. The sanctioning body that sanctioned this fight should be ashamed. Netflix should be ashamed. The Paul brothers should be ashamed. I'll give Tyson a bit of a leash because, you know, he's a wild one, and, you know, at least he got paid for this, but it's just there's so much that can be said about Mike essentially selling his legacy a little bit here. I'm not saying this to go against Mike Tyson. I fucking love Mike Tyson. I'm very much so happy he got paid full bag for this. He should have got paid more, honestly. This was embarrassingly sad. This was depressing. This was an absolute low note on the year. What a way to end the year in the worst possible way. The only way this would have been worse is if he actually knocked out Mike Tyson or if he killed him. The commentators saying that Mike is too old and Mike doesn't have it anymore. He's 50 fucking 8. What are you like? Jake Paul is 27. This was 31 years age gap, and Mike was out of his prime well before the 30 years. He did land some good shots, and I'll give Mike that, but he was a one-legged 38-year-old retired shell of the monster that he used to be, and truly the ferocious beast that Jake could never compete with. My biggest problem with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and honestly with Jones versus Miocic, because it's very, very similar behavior on the behalf of Jones and Jake. The very malicious and shameless picking of the opponent, and it just very much so knowing what they're doing when it comes to the fights that they were involved in this past weekend. The audacity of like BT Sports and Netflix to be posting after the event like, are you guys considering Jake a legitimate boxer now? No, dude, no. They were like, Jake Paul beat Iron Mike Tyson. No, the fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. It is disgusting, honestly. And the behavior of Logan Paul as well during that post-fight interview to be like, I would kill you. Let's just make this very clear. Logan Paul couldn't hurt Dylan Dennis, alright? Talking about he would kill Mike Tyson. Embarrassing, shameful behavior. And then Jake Paul to say in the post-fight interview how he chose not to knock out Mike Tyson and like bowing during that last round to like show respect. You don't have any respect for Mike Tyson. You don't give a fuck about Mike Tyson. On a very true to yourself level, you looked to Mike Tyson to take advantage of him in his old, retired, battered state. You saw money and you saw an opportunity to put a name on your record, and that is disgusting. I absolutely refuse the idea of entertaining anything about this being positive. There was not one positive that came from that night. I mean, we did get to see a rematch of the highest skilled women's boxing fight of all time between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, but even that got fucked up because the decision was wrong and Katie Taylor fucking cheated the entire fucking fight. Big props to Amanda Serrano, shout out Bordy. For Katie Taylor to aggressively cheat that much using the headbutts and create such a gash over Amanda Serrano's eyebrow, and then to repeatedly try to dig her forehead into the gash to try to make it bigger so that way there was maybe a doctor stoppage or something. Disgusting work. She was outpointed, outstruck. She only, I think, had a higher punch stat rate on 2 of the rounds. And she had a point taken away. She should have had 2 fucking points taken away if you ask me, genuinely. Nobody thinks she won that fight. But back to the bullshit. Jake Paul beating Mike Tyson is so absolutely pointless. Like, it's genuinely, like, nothing changes at all. This is just a really sad thing that we witnessed. I'm very happy that I didn't pay money to watch that. I didn't even pay money for the Netflix account that I used to watch it. I was watching it at my friend's house. Disgusting, pathetic work, genuinely. Like, both of the Paul brothers and their parents for birthing them and, you know, creating them should be ashamed of who they are. Now, from one dog shit human being to the next, we are on to Jon Jones and UFC 309.
One of Satan's greatest soldiers.
I've been very vocal about Jones's blatant duck work going on in the heavyweight scene, especially with Tom Aspinall. It's honestly pathetic and hilarious that Jones, after this fight, has changed his profile picture to an AI-generated image of a duck with the championship belt. Usually I'm all for, you know, like, yeah, take your name back and, you know, really rock it, you know, whatever people want to throw at you, just rock that shit anyway. You can't rock being a duck. You can't rock being pussy. You can't be the undisputed, fucking very disputed, but undisputed heavyweight world champion in the UFC and then blatantly, openly be so terrified to even entertain the idea of fighting the guy who's the interim champion of your weight class. He's not the number one contender. He's not some up-and-comer. He's not some top 5, like, opponent here. No, this is the interim champion who has defended his championship, and you are blatantly avoiding him like a pussy. And instead, you chose to drag old man Stipe out of retirement after he had gotten obliterated by Francis Ngannou in 2021, 3 to 4 years ago. The entire idea behind Jon Jones fighting Stipe Miocic is for Jon Jones to have a very easy win over a widely considered GOAT of the sport. This is all to just pat his fucking ego. I can't believe the lengths the UFC and Dana White will go to just for Jon Jones to feed his ego. And the same thing goes for Jake Paul. That's what this entire weekend was about, really. Both of these main events were just because the main person involved in the main event, Jake Paul, Jon Jones, they wanted to have a heavyweight fighting legend on their resume, an easy win that they can pick up and get, you know, some kind of uncontextual validity from, just so they could say, hey, I beat Mike Tyson, or hey, I beat Stipe Miocic. Fuck any kind of context involved, any kind of shame involved, yeah, and I want to get paid full bag for it, by the way. Jones, after the fight, trying to act like this is anything sort of legitimate at all, like, this is the same thing. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson and Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic are very much so the same type of fight and same exact situation. We learned nothing new except for the fact that Jon Jones is really not that competent on the feet at heavyweight. He had a cool spinning back kick KO on essentially a crash dummy that was Stipe's corpse in the 3rd round. I respect everything that Stipe has done. Genuinely, I think he's a cool fucking dude. But it is what it is, and I genuinely feel bad that he was taken advantage of in this way. I mean, yes, he got paid for it. Yes, he's a grown-ass man who signed on the dotted line, but it's just like, this was unnecessary. Nobody wanted to see this fight. We've been saying it the entire time, and when we got the fight, is exactly what we thought it was going to be. It's the same thing with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, which got canceled because Mike had a medical emergency during the lead up to the fight. Quoted saying, I almost died. It's fucking disgusting. Like, genuinely disgusting behavior between these two. And Jones is so genuinely terrified of Tom Aspinall. Like, if we really want to talk about it, he is terrified. Every time the actual conversation of entertaining a fight with Aspinall comes up, he treats it as though, why would I put myself in such jeopardy to fight this, force at heavyweight? He never talks with any confidence that he would win. He always talks with precaution that he might lose. And you hate to see that behavior get rewarded. Like, seriously, even Dana White has been saying basically the entire week that the next fight to make is the winner of Stipe Jones versus Aspinall. I don't care how you do it, just get them in the cage together, Dana. It's gonna make you a fuck ton of money. People are gonna buy the pay-per-view. You fucking know it. So just make it happen, man. Whatever this scumbag is asking you for, just fucking pay him at this point. Do exactly what Turki Al-Sheikh did with Tyson Fury when he had to fight Usyk. Pay him whatever the fuck crazy fucking number he's asking for, to the point where he can't say no to the fight. Thus, he cannot avoid the ass whooping coming his way. The Aspinall ass whooping. This needs to happen because, honestly, like, for Jones to go around like he's the GOAT of the sport and the undisputed world heavyweight champion is fucking hilarious to me. His entire career is very much so disputed, and his entire championship reign on both fucking weight classes is disputable. And I really love how during this fight week, the entire MMA community community did not let go on Jon Jones's neck. Jon treated this fight week like it was going to be like some going away party for him into his retirement, and we were all going to like celebrate and ride off into the sunset with him with like confetti and piñatas and shit and celebrate him. I'm so happy that like the entire MMA community just made it inescapable for him to hide away from who he is. A pathetic, cowarding scumbag of a person and as a fighter. Dana loves to say like, oh, you know, ignoring what he does outside of the cage, even what he does inside of the cage. Like, Jon Jones is a blatant cheater. He is a steroid cheat. He religiously eye pokes any opponent he gets within an arm's reach of. Most of the time he tries to go after opponents that are undersized compared to him, and anytime someone kind of meets his size, he has a very competitive fight. He wants the easiest fights for the most money, and for the UFC to turn into essentially what they said boxing was, which boxing was for a long time, just the top people giving us bullshit fights so they can make more money without actually risking anything. All of this to say, I'm glad the MMA community, and I guess just fight Twitter in general and the rest of the world, is not giving Jake Paul or Jon Jones any credit really with these wins. I mean, some people are, and hey, you know, it's a free country, it's a free world. If you want to choose to be an idiot, you can choose to be an idiot all you want. I'm not gonna say I'm not judging you, because I am. You're supporting horrible people both inside and outside the ring and cage. In the last 12 months, undeserved Cheeto performed horribly, undeserved Colby performed horribly, undeserved Stipe performed horribly. 9 times out of 10, you see why fans say he doesn't deserve a title shot, which is very true. That's why it's so funny whenever like Conor McGregor entertains the idea of him fighting a champion. It's like, no, like, yeah, it's Conor McGregor, sure, but like, no, don't put him against Islam Makhachev. He's no longer championship caliber. It just is what it is. And then for Jones in his post-fight speech to completely ignore Aspinall and all that shit, to be like, oh, we have a few options, and then, oh, I want to talk about Jesus Christ. It's always the worst fucking people you know bringing up Jesus Christ. Like, the audacity of a man like Jon Jones to talk about Jesus Christ. I found God, guys. I found God. That completely unbeats my wife and removes that memory from my children. Let's go through this shit collectively. I've saved a few posts, actually, that I do want to look at. This week is heartbreaking for fight fans, yeah. Like, just look at these two photos side by side. That is depressing. Stipe and Mike very much so were in very similar positions here with their fights. And I hate to point this out, but, like, even the way they walked out and came out to the ring, like, you could just see it on their faces. They were not there to win a fight. It was just very evident. They fed us elder abuse this weekend. Yes, they did. Yes, they absolutely did. Blatantly, too. Netflix and fucking Jake Paul and Dana White. Dana White, everybody gotta admit now that Jon Jones is pound for pound best fighter in the world. Why? Why? On what fucking evidence? What mark? Because he sure as shit didn't even beat the best dude in his own weight division. He's not pound for pound number 1. I'm gonna die on this hill. Alex Pereira is pound for pound number 1. However, Ilia Topuria is fighter of 2024. But Jon Jones is a fucking disgrace, man. He's not pound for pound number 1. Don't do that. Dana White on Jon Jones asking for a big check to fight Tom Aspinall. Jon has always been well compensated. I would never put his total purse number out there, but it's fucking massive. I definitely believe that. Jon Jones gets paid a lot of fucking money. So for him to ask for fuck you money to fight Tom Aspinall is, you know, exactly like the rest of his behavior throughout this week. Sad, pathetic, and cowardly. It'd be the worst person you know talking about Jesus. This pick of Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. This is a dope pick, I'm not gonna lie. This is a fire pick. This pick is cold as hell. Reminds me a lot of the one of Tom Aspinall and Alex Pereira, although if you notice, Tom Aspinall is a lot less stern in his demeanor in the picture. I would say he is not quite as threatened from the aura of Jon Jones as Alex Pereira. I have never in my life heard the chant overrated to a UFC fighter. Nah! They was chanting this during Bo Nichols' fight too. That's fucked up. Guys, hear me out. Maybe giving the 42-year-old coming off a KO loss who hasn't won since 2020 a title shot isn't a good idea. No, it's not. It's not a good fucking idea. It's never been a good idea. We should stop doing this. Jon Jones remains adamant that he does not want to fight Tom Aspinall and wants to fight Alex Pereira instead. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous established champions. You know what's pretty established? Winning the World Heavyweight Championship and then defending the World Heavyweight Championship against top 5 ranked opponents. That's pretty established and dangerous if you ask me, especially when most of them were done in the first fucking round. Some in the first minute. Stipe looks slow. Yeah, he's 42 years old and hasn't fought in 3 years. That's my exact fucking point. Mike Tyson says he almost died in June June when the Jake Paul fight got rescheduled. He had 8 blood transfusions, lost half of his blood, and lost 25 pounds in the hospital. With all due respect, we all know what Mike looks like in the 90s and how dangerous he was and how scary Mike Tyson is as a person, even in his old age. But this is not a man who should have been fucking fighting. Miles tweeted, Netflix fix your servers or diss track. Yo, Miles is so fucking funny. But Netflix's servers were genuinely horrible. I don't know what they're gonna be doing once they start doing more live shows with like WWE and stuff, but they were crashing like fuck. Holy shit. Like that was really bad. Like I'm genuinely happy I didn't put money into that because I would have been ripped off.
Bosco's is a ripoff.
Bro already made a diss. Miles, why are you tweeting in the third person?
Mike Tyson, you a bitch. Jake Paul, you a bitch. You a bitch. I said you a bitch. How the fuck you lose to a nigga that brother that sell porn? Mike Tyson kicked out the hood. That nigga is not slime. Jake Paul, you owe me money. Send my shit on fucking charm. You should pay my ass for wasting my time. You should pay me.
I fucking love Miles. Quote, he wasn't that strong. Jake Paul questions how a judge gave Mike Tyson all 3 rounds. The audacity to say he wasn't that strong when y'all are wearing 14-ounce gloves and he's a 58-year-old man on one leg, Jake. Again, disgusting behavior. Announcer, Tyson doesn't have it anymore. No shit, he's 58. Ready to take Jake Paul as a serious boxer now? Fuck no. No, Yahoo Sports, I'm absolutely not. Oh yeah, this is what I saw. I didn't want to hurt somebody that didn't need to be hurt. Jake Paul confirmed he wasn't trying to finish Mike Tyson in the later rounds. The audacity in that fucking statement. I am going to throw something. This fight should have never been made, sanctioned, whatever. The fact that this actually made it to the point where both fighters got in the ring on Netflix and fought as a like, what the fuck? And then he's like trying to play these like respectful, like, oh yeah, respect to Mike Tyson. Go fuck yourself. You're a fucking dipshit dickhead. I'm talking real strong in this video, and yeah, I mean every word I say about these two. Genuinely. Logan Paul says he wishes Jake Paul would have knocked out Mike Tyson. I wish somebody would hit Logan Paul with a fucking truck. Israel Adesanya reacts to the... Oh yeah, yo, Mike had his ass out on Netflix.
What's your prediction?
Vicious win.
Vicious win. Thank you, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too.
Hey, yo. He just had the buns out. Conor McGregor reacts to Jake Paul's win over Mike Tyson. They are eyeing Richard Cullen for next opponent. That is... fucked up. Connor, that is fucked up. But honestly, it's not far off. Jake Paul after beating yet another senior citizen.
Didn't I tell you, nigga? Fuck you, I can't be stopped, nigga. Didn't I tell you?
Speaking of done, I've been talking this to death for a minute. You guys get how I fucking feel already. Jake Paul, John Jones, and Logan Paul, and everybody involved in the creation of both Jones versus Stipe and Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. You all should be greatly ashamed with yourself. I'm speaking 100% honestly when I say this. You are horrible people. And yeah, no good deeds to you. No good Christmas to you. No good Thanksgiving. I hope your turkey is rotten. And I hope you get coal. That is the nicest way I could fucking put that. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, leave a like on it if you enjoyed. Comment your thoughts on the elder abuse that we witnessed over this past weekend. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.
My secrets and my heart is what I gave to you. In return, you see nothing but a lame excuse. And it's wow, I did everything just to see you smile. I've been thinking about you for a while. Responding to your pics and your vids. Now I see you just do it for the gram. And you talking on your man.